Here we go then, night falls here at Qatar, the Losail International Circuit for practice 2 in F1 Academy. It's round 6 and 7, and we could see a champion being crowned at this wonderful, magnificent country. One of the circuits which is designed for motorcycle racing, but single-seater racing makes its reappearance again. First time was back in 2013. 16 turns make this beautiful circuit with an elevation change of 4.18 meters. And it's such high speed as well, anything can happen. And practice has just begun. The only session that is seeing great practice, because of course F1 has got its sprint race weekend. I'm back, hello, the first time in a month, pretty much, since I've been in the commentary box. Welcome. Josh is having a little bit of a break. Eating some food, but he's in the background watching, just keeping an eye on everything. But joining us once again, we've got the lovely Wes, who did such a beautiful job debuting F1 Academy earlier on. How did you find F1 Academy earlier on? And welcome along, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. I appreciate the intro there. To be honest, I'm trying to not think about the hash browns that Josh is cooking for himself right now. I'm starving. F1 Academy was a very interesting session. The wind here is very, very strong. It's been affecting all the cars in all the events today to a greater or lesser extent. But particularly here, we're not only with the wind, but the fact that we're now, it's now dark. The track temperature is much, much cooler than it was before. The drivers are really going to have to take care. Because obviously the tyres are a much harder compound here than you would see in perhaps F2 or F1. They're really going to have to work hard to get that tyre temperature up and just watch out for slides.
Yes, I have noticed actually that a wind could be very tricky, but it is in a different part of the season in Qatar compared to obviously last year, where it was very awful for the tyres. And it's nice to see F1 Academy sharing the stage with Formula 2 once again, like they did in Jeddah, which is quite similar conditions. But there were quite a few people that were just doing their installation, and that's for those of you that missed practice 1 like I did, and I spent the last 10 minutes trying to catch up. Dorian Ping topped free practice 1 by 2 attempts to rival in the championship, Abby Pulling and Maya as well. So this was redemption for her. She needs a miracle, of course, to but anyway, let's hear from Abby. Never mind, let's not hear from Abby. Let's carry on about Dorian. Dorian, I think, needs to outscore Abby by quite a few points to stand a chance of competing for the title in race 2 on Sunday, of course, which is different conditions as well. Dorian, I feel like, has got a little bit of fire in her. She's top 3 practice 1, and I feel like that if she doesn't do well this weekend and doesn't clinch the title, she's got another season. It's her first season, and she's doing remarkably well.
Yeah, that's right. Abby really does. Oh, Bustamante's had a spin there. Manages to recover Oculus there. I think she should be okay. As I was saying earlier, that's tyre temperature just wasn't there for her.
She doesn't like the cold temperatures. I think quite a few tracks that we've been to that have had colder temperatures, she has struggled a little bit. So look at the replay. That is, I think, the triple right-hander, which is absolutely beautiful to drive on the F1 game, by the way. Actually, no, it might be a different part of the circuit. Never mind. But she just caught the curb, and it's an absolute nightmare to drive that bit anyway. So no harm done there. But Bianca, of course, is her final season in F1 Academy, because you can't do no more than 2 seasons, and she needs a decent result here today. She always makes quite a few more mistakes compared to other drivers, and this is not going to help build her confidence at all.
Yeah, last time out in Singapore was absolutely atrocious for her, unfortunately. She's had a very up and down season. Of course, she did fantastically with getting a podium in Miami, but just recently as I said, in Singapore, and before that in Zandvoort, yeah, she's let mistakes creep in there, and so we'll have to wait and see whether she can turn that around this weekend.
Yeah, I think she can. She is definitely got a chance to potentially score her best result in her F1 Academy career. We'll see if she could do that thus far. So we're riding on the off-board shot with our championship leader, Abby Pulling. She's had a remarkable season, winning a lot of races. She is suiting well to these cars, similar to the British Formula 4 as well. And bearing in mind, the news broke out during the F1 Academy break that if you do win the championship at F1 Academy, you do get a seat in GB3, which is quite a really good championship. A step up to obviously what she's used to in British F4. So if she does get the step up and win the championship, that means she will have to step down from British F4, because I think it's some rounds it might clash with that as well. But GB3, Wes, is a good championship to make your mark in single seaters. We've seen the likes of Callum Boyden, Joseph Loke come from there, and quite a few drivers have gone to other more notable series as well, based on how well they've done in GB3.
Yeah, if you look at the drivers who managed to graduate to FIA Formula 3 at the start of each season, the majority of them probably come from Formula Regional Europe, but by far the second most amount of drivers come from the GB3 Championship. It's very, very good, very cost effective. All the drivers say the car's very, very nice to drive. So I'm expecting great things from Abby in that.
Yeah, I think so too. And if it's she is pretty much, she's adapted to quite a lot of cars. As Emily de House has had a little bit of a lock-up, I believe, in the first few corners. But she's learned to adapt with Formula E as well. Of course, we had the test, the women's only test, which was honestly very, very good to keep an eye on the timers. Of course, there was no proper broadcast, but we did try and catch what we could on the JB Motorsports channel, which she's done very, very, very well. But yeah, she's learned to adapt to anything, so I think she could do very well. She's fast at the moment with a 156.453. Chloe Chambers in P2 as well. Chloe Chambers has had a very good season, and again, I believe it's her. I believe she's going to either RB or Red Bull in terms of the team that they're going to be supporting Chloe in her F1 Academy run. Chloe has had a very good first season, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. Some of you might remember Chloe Chambers took part in the final season of W Series. She was teammates to Jamie Chadwick. It was a bit of a steep learning curve for her. I believe that was her first season in single seaters. So she did pick up a few points, but it was largely towards the back. After that, she took part in the winter series, the Formula Regional Oceania series in New Zealand, and she actually managed to win a race in that very dominantly, I might add. And now she's here for Haas in F1 Academy. She has signed for it's the Red Bull, not the Red Bull Racing, but the Red Bull Drinks Company will be supporting her. It's the car that currently Emily de House drives, so she'll be in that with the Ford sponsorship.
It depends it depends, of course. Red Bull might have a second driver if they are top of the constructors. If not, it will either be Ferrari or McLaren, because I think that's the rule. If they get an extra team in that, of course, I think Hamda or Ahmed Al Kabasi. Yes. Yeah, it's Hamad Al Kabasi gets the second seat in that, and she's struggling as of late, but we'll see what they can do.
Of course. What? The Al-Qubaisi sisters are, no, I was just going to say the Al-Qubaisi sisters are both on their second year, so they won't be allowed to come back for next season.
Yeah, but they've done well in their first season, struggling a little bit in their second season, but it is obviously great to see them around and improving season after season as well. One driver I've noticed that she has done well in the free practice sessions that we've seen is Jess Edgar. She's currently sitting in P3 in FP2 at the moment, and again, she's another driver that was struggling to find her feet in some races. She, of course, did well in the final race, I believe, in USA last year. I believe she won't take part next year either, but it's nice to see her not struggling that much in F1 Academy this weekend, as Maya, by the way, goes into P2.
Yeah, Jess has had a very understated season, I would say. As you mentioned before, she very much put herself on the map with that win in the final race of the 23 season. But yeah, I haven't really seen that much of her, not since practice when she finished very well in that. But yeah, hopefully she can do better.
That's Dorian Pin that's found
here,
a
but
bit of the gravel.
yeah, Dorian Pin running wide there. Here's someone I'd like to talk about. I mentioned her a little bit in the practice stream. Alicia Palmovsky. I don't know if you've seen any of her in GB4, Jess, but she has been absolutely on fire this season. She has scored 3 wins. And a further 8 podiums on top of that, solidly in second place in that championship. And the prize money she's getting from that should go towards next season. I mentioned in the practice stream, probably how she impressed me the most was at a racing Donington. Oh, and we've got an interview with her now.
It's a much bigger platform than what I'm used to, but I'm so excited. I've been such a huge Formula One fan since I was 5-6 years old, since as long as I can remember. So to get this opportunity, it's just like a dream come true. I need to keep pinching myself, really. So I just want to embrace it all and just treat it like a normal GB4 race weekend, really. When I'm in the car, I'm just trying to drive as quickly as possible and do the best result I can, whether that's at Brands Hatch or whether it's at Qatar. So my mentality tries to remain the same.
Yeah, so she's the wild card for Qatar, of course. I was expecting a home driver to do that, but I don't think they have any home drivers. So they got a Brit. She's 18 years old. She claimed victory in her debut race in the GB4 series. Went on to secure 2 wins, 2 poles, 11 podiums, more than any other driver as well. And the prize, of course, for the highest female in that championship, they get a spot in F1 Academy next year, which I think is very, very good. So I think we'll see a lot more of her next season. And if she does well in Qatar, I agree with you. Definitely she'll be another name to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I was saying before, the race that she most impressed me in was at Donington. Unfortunately, she'd had a coming together with another car. I think it was on lap 2. Broke the rear suspension. Didn't let that stop her. She spent most of that race going sideways because it was crapping so bad. Still managed to put it in the top 10. She was 9th at the end of that race. I was buzzing watching that. It was so impressive.
She's only 18 years old as well, which is insane. I was starting secondary school by the time she was born. That makes me feel old. There we go. Yeah, it's great to see an achievement in such a young age for her, like Ginetta's she used to do as well. She also took part in the Formula E test as well. I can't remember where she finished in the Formula E women's test, but I will double check that in just a moment. And we're seeing the wild card actually in P2, but there comes Maya. Hello, beaten Abby Pulling by just by 100th of a second. That's very close. But here comes Abby Pulling. I think she's got something to say a little bit. They're finding a little bit of their feet now in these cooler conditions. Here comes Abby. P1 by 0.2 of a second. I think really it's going to be a fight for the race win between the top 2 and, of course, Dorian, who's still struggling with the cooler conditions, but that's not what they're going to witness in the races, I believe. I think it'll be much brighter. So, but we'll see what they can do anyway. But in my opinion, it's between Maya and Abby Pulling for the race victory. But I think Dorian can definitely redeem herself here this weekend, Wes.
Hi, Jess. Just sorry to quick.
Yeah.
Who did you want again
Oh.
for the women's test?
Alicia Palmowski.
I will get on that now.
Thank you, Josh. As you were saying, Wes?
Yeah. What was I saying? The other sessions are due. Qualifying tomorrow is due to take place at 3:15. This is local time, Qatari local time. And then the first race will be at night. It will be at 11:05 p.m. local time, so a late one for the drivers there. And then
So that'll be after the sprint, or would it be
Way
after
it
qualifying?
will be. It'll be after main qualifying. Yes.
It'll be after main qualifying. Oh my God, I'm excited for F1 Academy night race.
Yeah.
So,
Can you imagine if Abby Pulling wins the championship in that race as well? She won't be able to celebrate.
There'll be a
She'll
lot
have to
of
go straight to
fireworks.
bed.
There'll be a lot of fireworks going off. It'll be insane. So it'll be not much for gap as well. But I think Dorian needs to outscore Abby by 12 points. That's what Dorian needs to do for her to stay in the fight. Otherwise, she's out of it. Maya, I will need to double check on how much she needs to outscore. I think everyone else is mathematically out of it. But as it stands, if the race was to end like this, of course, then it would still go to race 2 later on as well. But we can see, of course, 2 races in F1 Academy. The first race, starting grid, decided by their fastest lap in qualifying. And race 2 decided by their second fastest lap in qualifying. And personally, I like that. Wes, it means that they can't just deliver over 1 lap, they got to deliver over 2 laps in order to make sure they get pole in both races.
Yeah, absolutely. You've really got to be on it. We're on board now, actually, with someone who's had a rather compromised second practice. But she yet to set a representative lap time, but she seems to be doing okay now, Bianca Bustamante. But yeah, as you were saying, qualifying, it's consistency is key in qualifying. You really have to just keep pounding around and yeah, hope for the best that you can deliver.
I've got the results if you wanted to know.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Alicia finished 16th with a time of 1:35.145 on the board. Then, if you want to know everybody else, Abby Pulling topped the session, of course. Then we had Bianca Bustamante was in 3rd. Marta Garcia, she was 8th, so former of the championship. Jess Edgar was 11th. Alice Powell was also in that one, who was, of course, driver coach for Abby Pulling. She was 12th. Nia Marty was 13th as well. Chloe Chambers in 15th place as well. And I suppose Ella Lloyd, who's been in, was 7th.
Good to see a good representation for F1 Academy drivers in Formula E. I really liked that, of course. Hopefully we may see one of them one day compete in Formula E in the future. I think Alice Powell is more likely to do that in the future because she is a reserve driver for Envision Racing. So, and I think she's more than likely going to race next season because I think one of the clashes with WEC or something. So we may see her in a Formula E car sooner than we think.
Yeah, it's incredible the amount of drivers who do both World Endurance and Formula E. I'm not quite sure how they manage that, but they do.
Here's from Live Block.
Over the days, there's a lot, the wind can change and it can affect how the car goes into the high-speed corners. And obviously you have the sand problem with track gets dirty, so it's definitely going to be a gamble with what tires you use.
Tandem wind, she was having problems with, which I think all drivers seem to be having problems with, and that is a problem that they're going to contend with for the rest of the weekend because the race is going to be like that later on, and of course it will start to get dark for qualifying. So this is the most representative session all of our drivers are going to get used to, with Abby Pulling just waiting in a car there as well. I'm just looking at the gaps. again, a lot close between a lot of our drivers, of course. Alicia, Dorian, Chloe, they're quite close together. Jess Edgar as well, not that far behind. And then you just got Abby Pulling just flying. Lorraine Marty as well. I'm expecting her to get a lot higher because she has got quite a few podiums recently. And I think she's one of those drivers where I feel like she needs to find a bit more time around this circuit. She's struggling a little bit, but speaking of struggling, let's go watch Bianca Bustamante and speak about what. Oh, yeah, she hit a bit of the gravel trap once more. Yeah, it's the wind.
It is, yeah. She seems to be affected by it more than most for some reason there, but I'm sure she'll be able to work her way around it. I had another interesting fact about Alicia Palmowski. There was a test here for F1 Academy a couple of weeks ago, and it was before Palmowski got announced, actually, so the results just listed her as car number 6. I don't know why they did that, but the morning session of that first test, she topped it. Never driven the car before, and she topped it, yeah.
That is insane. But don't forget, GB4 cars are sort of similar, but it's a older spec of Formula 4 cars. Previous generation. But yeah, so she does have some experience, and of course she's done well there in GB4. So yeah, I'm excited to see, of course, what she can do in F1 Academy. If she's not in F1 Academy, GB3, maybe we could see her and Abby Pulling as teammates, or Dorian Ping, or whoever wins the championship. Don't count your chickens yet. But let's see the Red Bull drivers.
This weekend, looking forward to it. I feel like testing really went well for me, and the pace was there, so I'm really happy with how it went. And we had a chance to experiment a lot with the car and the setup, and we used that chance, and I feel like we got somewhere with the setup, so I'm really happy with it, and hopefully the race weekend goes well. I'm looking forward to being there on the podium.
There we go. So with the advantage of them having testing, it's like in real life, isn't it, with F1? Bahrain, they had their testing there at the start of the season, then they go straight to Bahrain race not so long after that as well. So I think a lot of the teams are just going to have a lot of data, and that's probably why quite a lot of the lap times are a lot closer than in other circuits. Yeah,
I'd agree with that analysis. It's very rare for teams in this day and age to be able to get testing. Of course, we live in the era of budgets having to be kept to a minimum. So any testing that these drivers can get they're going to grab the opportunity with both hands.
It's going to be huge for any driver to gain all the data they need to just become better drivers, know about what piece of feedback to give to the engineers, of course. I think that's Alicia. Alicia's livery is looking absolutely great. I love of course it's the F1 Academy livery because it is the wild card. I would like to see more of it, of course. I think Jess Edgar ran a similar livery at the start of the season because she wasn't spot backed by anyone at the start of the season, but now she is. And is it me, or the Alpine livery for F1 Academy? It's not the same compared to the actual Alpine
There's
livery
a lot
that they
more
run
pink in it, I think. They're sort of playing up the pink because it's a female championship, I think. Because that's what they did with F1 Academy last year. Because Abby last year had an entirely pink car. And obviously this one looks a lot more like the Formula 1 car, but not quite the same. So yeah, I think they're just playing up the pink.
Yeah, I see what they mean. Yeah, and it is. I think pink is always a nice colour, and it suits that car. I kind of wish the Alpine at the start of the season had a bit more colour, because it's kind of had a bit more carbon fibre. But I'll be pulling top session at the moment with 15 minutes still to go. The only two drivers out there in the pits is Dorian and Nerea Marty. Everyone else is out there on the circuit trying to get some data in for qualifying. Bearing in mind, qualifying is not until tomorrow. So if you think qualifying's today, no, if it's not, it is tomorrow. So make sure you keep an eye on the JB Motorsports channel we will keep you informed as to what time that we're going to be streaming qualifying, and then we got the race of course. But we do have the sprint shootout on later on, and that is at 5:15. But let's hear it for Chloe.
It was at the test. I'm actually a little cold right now, so it should be interesting. I think one of the main things that we were dealing with at the test was overheating the tires. So I think that the cooler temperatures will kind of eliminate that a little bit, and then with our qualifying, our second practice and our first race being at night as well, that'll make track temperatures lower. So it'll be interesting. Of course, we have F1 as well, and the Porsche's running, so there will be extra rubber on the track, I think, which will kind of spice things up a little bit.
Interestingly, the Porsche are there as well. Obviously, not the Porsche Motorsport Super Cup, that ended ages ago, but I think the Porsche is it the Porsche Asia? I don't know.
Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. It is, yeah.
Our Porsche Carrera Cup. So I think by the time F1 Academy do race 1, they're going to have so much grip out there.
Yeah, it's not quite the same rubber, but I believe that championship does use Pirelli, so it'll at least be related.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule now. It pretty much bookends the day. So they had their practice session at the start of the day. They're having their qualifying session at the end of the day after sprint qualifying for F1, and then they start the day with their first race on Saturday.
I thought qualifying was tomorrow. Scrap that. I apologise. I should have listened to the timings a bit more.
It's F1 Academy qualifying is tomorrow.
Oh, thank God for that.
I'm sorry. I was talking about Porsche.
Everyone's confused. Literally, me and Megan are still on Thursday, not Friday, thanks to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a very good race. Which was a very good race to watch, but I'm excited to actually watch Qatar properly because it's in the evening, and I love watching evening races. It's great. It's even though it's an hour earlier than usual, 4 p.m. our time, which means I can't have food during it. But never mind. Which means I could join you, Josh, for the first time in ages. So you're welcome, Josh. As watching
finally.
one of my favourite cars go out on the circuit away in Nobles. One of my favourite liveries of the year, I think, with the yellow and the blue, and it looks absolutely spectacular, Rose. But Nobles, currently 9th fastest. She found 2 tenths on that lap so far, not that far off of Abby, so very impressive.
Yeah, Nobles has had a very up and down year, I have to be said. She was in the points in the first race back in Jeddah, and then we didn't really see much of her until Zandvoort, where she absolutely excelled there solidly in the top 10 in both races. That vaulted her up the championship. But she was a little bit, again, inconsistent in but hopefully she can come back for this race.
I think she could. I think she could try and do what she can. Of course, make sure she doesn't get caught out by the wind. But it looks like a decent lap time so far. She's passed, I believe, the triple right-handers as she uses a lot of that curb on the right-hand side. Oh, look at Chloe's time. 7,000 separating her and pulling. But let's watch Aurelia into the final corner. Very tight and twisty, this circuit. She's going to go up to the line. Is she going to go up the order? She's lost quite a bit of time in that final sector. Only goes 5th fastest. But let's watch Chloe heading through that final sector. Just like that. Oh, Block goes 3rd, Wes. Very impressive.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, Leah Block. How far off is she? 0.3 of a second. So yeah, not bad at all from Leah Block.
Chloe Chambers, again, losing that time on that final sector, 2nd fastest. So I think that's what Abby is excelling at, the final sector. She can carry that speed for quite a lot of the lap as well. And bearing in mind, most of these guys now, well, most of these ladies, sorry, will be doing a mixture of long runs and glory runs for qualifying, because, of course, qualifying will be an hour earlier tomorrow. just a quick rundown on the times for those of you that don't know, just so you don't have to wait until we put it on the JBMotorsports channel. So we've got sprint qualifying. 5:15 will be live UK time, so if you want to watch us, please do. We've got F2 that follows straight after this. That is at 4:05. I'm looking at a site that's having times an hour later, but yeah, I'm just trying to convert it to my time. 4:05 and 10:04 start time for that. Then of course we've got F1 Academy kicking off the day with their qualifying, so that's at 20:12. Then it's F1 sprint race at 2 p.m. Then we've got the F2 sprint race, yes, the F2 sprint race at 4:20, qualifying at 6 for the F1, and then F1 Academy race 1 at 8:05. Whereas we're going to be on for a very busy day tomorrow, pretty much from, I'm just trying to think, from lunchtime.
Lunchtime for you, yeah. I'm currently talking to you from the middle USA, so it'll be quite early in the morning for me.
Oh, you with the USA now?
Yeah, I am.
Very nice, very nice. What part of USA?
Yeah. Kansas City.
Ooh, how long?
Oh God, 12 years. Damn.
Oh my God.
So
I'm jealous.
yeah, the first practice this morning was 4 a.m. my time. So
bloody hell.
In case anyone was watching that and I look like death, that's why.
No, I did not know that. I thought you were from Britain.
Oh,
but
I am. No, I
Britain.
am. I just live here. Yeah, no, I'm from Portsmouth originally.
Oh, you're from Portsmouth. My mum and dad went to Portsmouth a few weeks ago for their holiday as well, which I couldn't go to because it was a week after the esports finals, for the women esports finals, and I used up too much leave and I had to work because otherwise work would kill me.
Yeah.
But
That's
maybe
shame.
that's
It's
something.
alright. I'm sure you didn't miss much. It's only
No.
Portsmouth.
We like the sites as well, but here we go then with 7 minutes to go. We're starting to see the track evolving as we see more lap times being set and more lap times being improved, with Block at the moment setting a very good set to 2 time. Alicia's not that far behind Abby's time as well. So let's see. Block's got to find that time in that final sector, so I think she's got to nail that final corner. So she's got to use a bit more of the curb than intended, which she does. What's it going to be for Block as Maya goes 3 tenths quicker? Up to the line. Fastest for now, but we're seeing Maya go quicker. Alicia, she goes top. I think we're going to see quite a lot of people at the top of the timesheet. We're not going to know who's going to potentially do well. This is where we start to see, I think, more push-ups being made, just so we can see a rough idea of the pecking order, but, you know, things could all change in qualifying tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. And if qualifying is going to be anything like this, I am so looking forward to it. Maya Berg goes top now for Ferrari.
Yes. And now we're seeing
Dorian
going
Paz
past.
setting.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, sorry, Dorian Paz is setting the timelines ablaze right now. She's nearly half a second up on Maya Berg's time. Should be going fastest any second now.
Yep, here she comes then. And Abby's saying, if anything you could do, I could do better. But Dorian and Hamad Al-Kabasi improving to Hamad Al-Kabasi, not Kabasi. It's Kabasi. I've been saying it wrong all season, and I feel so bad. Anyway, 155.0 as Dorian goes fastest. Well, let's see what Abby can do. 2, realistically, the ones they'll be fighting for the Drivers' Championship. A seat and GB3 is on the line for these 2 drivers. Here comes Abby pulling up to the line, and she goes second. There's not quite enough to reach Dorian. I wonder, she was struggling a bit in that final sector, but let's see what Alicia can do.
Yeah, Abby pulling just 6/100ths of a second slower than Dorian Paz's time. There's almost nothing in it whatsoever. As Alicia Palmowski takes the right-hander here. Only about 10 seconds of this time left to go. Foot down, drives for the line. And she goes fastest, a 10th up on Dorian Parr. Fantastic.
I think one of the races I remember a wild card did very well was Zandvoort, the Dutch driver. She was really incredible to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, Nina Gaiman.
Yeah.
She was brilliant. I would like to see her full time someday. And I think we've got another talented wild card in our midst that if we see her full time in F1 Academy next season, I think she could be one to watch. So we'll keep an eye on her. Dorian, well, she's got a couple of chances to win the championship in the next 2 seasons. Dorian, I think, is looking like going to be a very good lap time for her as well. A lot of rubber being laid out now. A lot of drivers feeling a little bit more confident around this track, which is really, really great to see. They can put more foot to the floor now. They've had experience in obviously testing, of course. Here's Alcabase's lap time. Goes P4. No, not P4. P8. There we go.
6.
And move to 6 as Dorian goes fastest. First drive into 154.
Lovely stuff. Even closer, 0.02 of a second faster than Parmovsky there.
Yeah, so we could see some switcheroos. Here's Abby.
Abby, no purple sectors, but she goes fastest anyway by 100th of a second.
Mrs. Consistency is Abby pulling.
Absolutely.
She could go faster, and even though she wouldn't top any other sector, this is what she can as well. Do you think she can win the title in the sprint race, or will it be down to either the feature race or even Abu Dhabi?
I definitely think she'll win it this weekend. Whether she can win it in race 1 or not, I think will depend entirely on
race 1, not
well...
the sprint race. We're not in F2.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But yeah, I think it'll be down entirely to how well Dorian Parr does. If she can finish on the podium, I believe that'll be enough to at least take it to race 2, but by then it'll probably just be a formality for pulling to take. As we see Tina Houseman in the Aston Martin, she goes 12th across the line.
Yeah, so more time being made for Tina Houseman. Of course, haven't seen much of the drivers in the bottom half yet, but Emily de House, I have to say, is doing quite well in the top 10. Not used to seeing her in the top 10, so she's finding her footing around this Qatar circuit, which is absolutely beautiful in the night time on the F1 game, let's just say. As Emily goes up to the line, what's going to be? Stays in 8th fastest, but improves on time.
She does, yeah. Very, very impressed with Emily de House. She's not had the most consistent of years, as we see a replay of Bianca Bustamante. I think that's Hamda Al-Qubaisi in front. Oh, and they get very, very close.
There.
Yeah, and I believe it's been noted by the stewards. The incident involving Hamda Al-Qubaisi and Bianca Bustamante noted. That doesn't mean it's under investigation, and to be honest, it being just a practice session, they'll likely just get a slap on the wrist, nothing more. But definitely something to watch out for.
And it might, I wonder, because I think for most practice sessions, even in Formula 1, I think it's a reprimand for that. And if you get multiple reprimands in a season, then you get a hefty penalty.
The fast laps are not done now. We're currently watching Alicia Palmovsky. She's a little bit down on Pulling's time, but not by much. Coming through the final corner now, heading towards the line. Maya Berg also on a quick lap.
Third fastest
and stays there.
Yeah, she does not improve on time. But this is a driver that is improving on time, though, quite rapidly. She may get a tow for the driver in front. Up to the line goes Maya. No, fourth fastest, stays fourth.
Stays there. I think they've taken the best out of the tyres. Pulling already leading the session. Still doing personal bests though, so we'll see if she can improve.
Not long until the checkered flag dropped here at the Sale International Circuit. 6.1 of a second over her own time, so I think if I was her, just as long as it's consistently good, matching your
showboating,
previous
yeah.
time, then that'll be good. So at the moment, no one else could beat her, but checker flag has dropped. So we'll see the last few laps from all of our drivers here today. And reprimand, yes, I was right. Reprimand for Hamad Al-Khabaisi. So basically, slap on the wrist.
Yes. Bit of a shout out to Jess Edgar as well. We mentioned her before as being quietly impressive. She's running 6th. Hasn't really been in that group of cars that have been vying for the top of the table, but very impressive nonetheless, it has to be said.
Yeah, I'm very happy with her lap times as well. I'll look at timing 71. I've got 2 monitors now. I'm absolutely happy with myself. Best lap time 1:55.362. Just a few, I think about 6/100 slower than Hamad Al-Khabaisi. Hamad Al-Khabaisi's had a very good qualifying qualifying. Free practice 2. There we go. I'm not used to F1 Academy having 2 practice sessions. As we see Chloe Chambers going off the... Oh, that's going to take a little beating into her tyres.
Just ran wide. That's the gravel trap they put there so they don't have to mark track limits.
Fastest.
Whoa.
1:54.794.
And she pulled that out of nowhere as well, because neither of her sectors were personal bests, I don't think. So she did that all in the final sector.
Just over a 10th quicker than Abby Pulling.
That is impressive. She's not ready to relinquish her hold on Abby Pulling competition.
No, she wants to win the title in her first season. She can still do it.
Can you blame her? She can. Mathematically, she can do it. It's unlikely, but mathematically, she can do it.
That would require, I think, Abby to have a bury the races.
Retire from all the races. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But she could still try and get 2nd in the championship. That'll be good, and that will show everyone that's racing next year that Dorian is someone not to be messed with.
Oh, absolutely.
As they will be going to the support paddock. I thought they were going to do practice starts, but no, they were going to the support paddock, which is where the F2 cars and the Porsches will go as well. As that's what the double yellows are for. But let's go through your practice 2 results then. Dorian tops the session with a 1:54.794. Abby Pulling in 2nd. Alicia, our wild card, in 3rd with a 1:54.936. Maya in 4th with a 1:55.028. Then we've got Hamad Al-Khabaisi in 5th. Jess Edgar 6th. Block in 7th. Emily DeHouse in 8th. Chloe Chambers in 9th. Bianca Bustamante rounds up your top 10. Then we've got Tina Houtzman in 11th. Nerea Marty in 12th. Aurelia Nobles 13th. Carrie Schreiner in 4th. We haven't seen much of her this session. Then Hamad Al-Khabaisi in 15th. And Lola Lovenbossi in 16th. We haven't got that long to go before we kick off F2's qualifying session, but let's hear our thoughts from everyone in the commentary box. Josh, are you there?
I am, Jess. What do you want?
What are your thoughts of this F1 Academy free practice 2 session?
Well, it's nice to get some running in the dark because they're going to need it for tomorrow. Track conditions have been largely the same as what we've had here today, so it was good. And Dorian is still surprising me how much she can improve. She did in practice 1, she's doing it again here.
Yep, she's finding a bit more of her feet in this session as well. And of course, Wes, we got multiple drivers that could be in the running for pole position, not just Abby, not just Dorian. We could see the likes of Alicia, Maya, or even Hamad Al-Khabaisi could challenge as well. It's going to be very nail-biting. What do you think going into this qualifying session tomorrow?
I can't wait. And if any of you watching even a little bit like racing, you'll watch as well, because this could go any way. The championship is all but sealed, but the fight for the pole position and the races, definitely not.
Yep, it's all to play for here in Qatar. The sun sets for F1 Academy. We'll be back tomorrow for that around 12:15. So make sure you join us on JBMotorsports for that. Megan will be back for that as well. But Next on JB Motorsports, we've got qualifying. One of the best sessions of the weekend. We get to see the F2 cars take to the track, and we'll see who gets pole position. Oh boy, we missed it. And then straight after F2 will be F1's sprint qualifying. So from myself, Jess Ball, and from Wes and Josh B in the pits, thank you very much for watching for F1 Academy. We will see you tomorrow for qualifying. Thanks for your company. Take care. Bye-bye.